Hello everyone, a warm welcome to this 10-minute video or so, perhaps a few seconds more, we will see. It's a great pleasure to speak to you guys out there, researchers or will-be researchers in different areas of Vietnam or outside Vietnam. So a warm welcome to all of you. We would like to share a recent experience. Before that, I would like to provide a little bit of my background. I began my PhD journey back in 2002 in New Zealand, near Christchurch. And I began really seriously my full-blown PhD degree at the beginning of 2003, all the way through the end of 2005, and eventually I graduated in 2006. Even before my PhD started, I conducted some research in minor projects. And then after my PhD, my research journey really took off. So I conducted a number of projects in New Zealand, both using qualitative and quantitative approaches or methods. And after that, I moved to Australia and I continued that journey. So before I talk about the acceptance of the article, I would like to mention or share with you that I conducted research in about 11 countries, as the countries that you see on the screen. And I have been extremely fortunate, as you can see, also in establishing relationships, collaborative relationships in other nations such as Singapore, Greece, and Bolivia. And I hope that through this business, through High Rank, through our journey with High Rank, we could also meet and collaborate with other researchers out there. Back to the actual experience. We thought we had a very interesting topic. We conducted a qualitative research almost 2 years ago here in Vietnam, and we interviewed people, high caliber people working for the shipping industry and also for port cities. So port city management and shipping companies operating here in Vietnam. So we collated some nice results, some nice qualitative data, and we pitched our manuscript to one journal in particular. So we started with one. That target journal mentioned, as many journals mentioned, that the topic did not really fit well within the objectives and the aims and objectives of the journal. I mean, that happens quite often, more often than we think. So the second journal, actually, it was a surprise because this journal is also an A-ranked journal in the ABDC ranking, the Australian ranking. And here, actually, the article was sent to review, not as the previous case where the editor rejected it. So here, the editor actually sent it to review, so we were very excited. And a few weeks later, the outcome came. The two reviewers were not happy, and so they raised a number of concerns, and then they rejected the article. So our journey continued. So we targeted the third and the fourth and the fifth and more journals that were, so for example, from maritime journals all the way to others like business management journals. So in total, we had a whopping 15 rejections, which is something new for us as a team and as an individual. I have never had so many rejections in this particular project or in any project before. So it was kind of, I was entering new territory, and my mental strength was still there. But and I didn't have doubts. It's just the frustration that we were receiving rejections left, center, and right. So for my colleagues, perhaps it was a little bit more taxing because they really wanted the publication to come out. But I knew that sometimes, I mean, it could be seasonal, or I don't know the reason exactly, but it's just a matter of chance that our, journal editors just reject articles. And as you probably know by now, a lot of the journal editors keep repeating the same sentence, the same little excuse that the journal is receiving many more submissions and they need to increase their rejection rate. Some journals that actually tell you that they have like 90+% rejection rate or percentage altogether. So it is extremely challenging to get through the first step, which is the editor. Once you pass that very difficult, challenging gate, so because the editor is the gatekeeper in this case, then you are pretty much dependent upon the judgment of two, maybe more reviewers. So you have to be really gritty, not greedy, but gritty and emotionally strong, because the ride could be very, very bumpy. So in this particular case, it took us many months to get through until finally one journal, one editor perceived value in our article, and the editor sent it to reviewers. To our surprise, the decision came fairly quickly, so we were kind of a little bit too excited or suspicious and maybe a little bit down just by looking at decision as the subject of the email, the message. So we thought it could be a rejection. However, it was not. Two reviewers had different views, actually. One reviewer was perhaps keener on our article to be published, so the amendments, the queries, the concerns were rather minor, whereas the second reviewer, as is actually quite typical in my case, was a much more demanding reviewer, asking for a number of areas to be revised and polished and improved. So we did that. We responded to both reviewers, and maybe perhaps less than a month later, we received the second decision. And on this occasion, one of the reviewers actually was pretty happy with our work, and he or she decided to accept it, subject to some minor changes. The second reviewer, on the other hand, was again demanding, and even though he or she was happy that we have conducted a lot of revisions and pretty much addressed most of the concerns, he or she still wanted us to do some work. But we could kind of sense it that our article was about to be accepted, subject to conducting this new set of revisions. So actually, it was a happy ending. Eventually, the article was accepted, and the publisher, Elsevier, which is a quite reputable publisher, took a very short time to process, to go through all the paperwork, and finally release the article to the World Wide Web or Google Scholar, as it might be. So it was a very positive, in the end, a very positive experience, because we were really hungry for this type of research to be published. I personally had never conducted research on the maritime industry. I was excited about it, and I'm still quite excited to produce future outputs. So this is our little story today, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and please do not hesitate to contact us in case you have any queries about research and what we offer to help researchers to develop their soft skills into the future. So once again, We really appreciate your time, and bye for now. Thank you.